Kababayan today. Joining us once again is our ever-reliable immigration attorney from Aquino & Lowe.
This American Dream segment is brought to you by Aquino & Lowe Law Firm, answering your immigration questions.
Attorney Richard Lowe is with us today to discuss several aspects of the executive section announced by Obama about DACA, or what we call the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. All right, Attorney Richard, please tell us the aspects that have changed so that the viewers can understand if they possibly qualify this time around with the new additions to DACA.
Well, as you know, the program started 2 years ago, and this was basically executive action light, if you want to call it that way. Obama sort of getting his feet wet with doing something about the situation in the country of people being here undocumented. And the first group he concentrated on were those people that we call dreamers, that had come into the United States as young people and were still here trying to go to school, trying to go to college, trying to get a job. And so this was really addressed to them. So you had to be under the age of 16 and have entered prior to June 15th, 2007. And you could not be over 31 years old on June 15th, 2012 when the program started. So we had this cap on the front end and on the back end.
Right, and I know one of the Filipino American leaders, Jose Antonio Vargas, didn't qualify then.
Right, that's correct. There were a lot of people that either missed the cutoff because they weren't under 16 when they came, or because they were too old. They were over 31 years old on June 15th, 2012. And so what Obama did in this current executive action run is basically expand the program a little bit. So he's made it, you have to be under age 16 prior to January 1st, 2010. Which is going to be mirroring the DAPA program, the Deferred Action for Parental Authority, which is going to come into effect. And there's no upper age limit. So now it doesn't matter if you're 31, 35, 37, whatever it is, you can go ahead and apply for the new DACA program.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So under the age of 31, as of June 15, 2012, so you would have to have been born before June 16, 1981.
Yes, under the previous program, you had to have been under age 31 on that day, and so
now
that
no longer
that's no longer there. And so the other thing that he's done as well is change the time period of the DACA program. So when you get your work authorization from DACA, because that's what you get, it's not 2 years, it's 3 years now. And that's going to go for anybody that's currently in the process or who will be in the process coming next year. So for example, if you were a DACA recipient and you are in renewal process and you have not yet gotten your work authorization, that work authorization will be for 3 years, not for 2.
Wonderful.
Yes, and then this program will start next spring in February of 2015. So if you don't qualify under the current program and you do qualify under the next program, under the expanded program, you will be able to start applying next spring. And I really urge people in the Filipino community to get into this program. It's been heavily underrepresented by Filipinos and Asians. I think we make up 15 to 20% of the possible DACA recipients, but only less than 5% of the applicants for DACA. So
that's really interesting. Why do you think, Richard?
Well, I think there's been a lot of concern that this is a program that's going to bring you to the attention of the government, that then you're going to be in this process. And also, I think there's a little bit of skepticism as to what it actually does. I'm not really getting anything, so why should I do it? But I really think it's a benefit to people, and it's a benefit that people should explore, because you do get work authorization. That means you get a driver's license. That means you get a Social Security card. And what that also means, especially for the young people that are in college, is that people who are studying to be a nurse can now take their licensing exam because they have all the required, the recommended ID documents to do so. So there's this issue of getting people out of limbo, out of waiting for something to happen. They can get on with at least a portion of their lives and get into the system, and I think that's a benefit that people really should explore.
Okay, my question is, for the dreamers, will they be able to apply for financial aid in colleges under this program, or not yet?
Well, in California, we have already allowed in-state tuition for undocumented individuals. So that's already there. So I think having a driver's license and having a Social Security card, it's just going to make that easier. I don't know about the rest of the nation, because each individual state works differently as how they do financial aid. But I think that they will be able to get aid in-state tuition, which is the important part, because out-of-state tuition is very high.
Very,
yes.
very expensive.
And the other aspect of that, too, is that I believe that there are programs for DACA recipients to get into, like, Medi-Cal and other health insurance benefits they can't. Now, Obama specifically said that you couldn't get into the Obamacare, which is right, but California has its own program, and DACA recipients specifically are allowed to go into that program.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Attorney Richard Lowe from Aquino and Lowe. That was some amazing advice. For all the people, please tell people you know that might be able to participate in the DACA program. All right, thank you, and we'll be right back here on Kababayan Today.